Hi, it's Anna Vaughn with Travel Mama Anna Vaughn, and I wanted to make a great little video for you today talking about 2020 and what we have coming up for this year. I just recently made a video about my fitness journey in 2019. I am huge on setting goals for the year. I don't achieve everything that I put out there, but I definitely give it the old college try. So, of course, most of my goals, they're never quite achieved. It's always a work in progress. Whether it's, building this garden that is an uphill battle both ways, or whether it's going to the gym and working on my fitness, which is something that, of course, I'm just always doing. There's no finish line for something like that. You can always be doing better. I really believe in you can always be doing a little bit better. I don't beat myself up about it, and I definitely celebrate my wins, but I can always be improving. So I like to set goals for myself for the year, for the 5 years, for the 10 years. And one of the goals that we set in June when we moved out here was to stay put for the year. And that's been a really challenging one. I have not stayed in one place for a year since I was 3 years old. So this has been really challenging. And granted, I did take off to Spain for 5 days for our wedding in August. And we are traveling around Mexico a lot, and there might be a quick trip down to Central America coming up for us. So it won't be exclusively here, but we're not traipsing off to Asia, and I think that's what matters. And trying to find balance for my daughter, the whole homeless from August 2018 to June 2019, tons of countries all over. If you've been following us, you know that we went all over Southeast Asia. We've been to Colombia, we were in Nicaragua, we were everywhere. And just trying to figure out what our next step was going to be all over Mexico. And now we found our forever home, or our forever for now home, I call it. And I want to ride it out. I want to see what this beach town is like over the year. What's the ebb and flow of it? And yeah, so that's still on my list for 2020. But something else that I've been thinking about a lot lately is that, about sort of these ideas of living your life fully. What does that mean? I don't ascribe to this idea that you need to slough everything off and never let anything bother you and just kind of keep on smiling, keep on smiling. I think that there is value in working through darkness, by going through tough times, by going through dark times. I know for myself, my best blessings in life came from the things that were the hardest, the things I lost, the bad times in life. That's what really got me. It showed me what I was made of. It got me to persevere. Perseverance allowed me to enjoy my life more. I enjoy the little things way more now because, we had to build our lives back from nothing. And I had to do it twice, once pregnant and once with Luna. And I feel like that, it's it made a man out of me, it made me who I am today, which I could never be as happy as I am in this person if I had never been that low. So I do believe in going through the tough times and that there is value in facing your stuff and working through it. However, I also want to be living my best life. And when I think about what is my best life, to be totally, honest and clear here, that since we bought this house in August, I have just been pinching myself. I had no idea life could be this good. I had no idea that I would ever be a homeowner. I had no idea that I would ever feel home in any country. I certainly didn't feel at home in Canada for a long time. And then I searched for 10 years for my country. And now, it'll take a lot to get me out of Mexico. They'll have to burn it to the ground. I would happily die for this country. And I always make the joke that, they'll bury me here. I'll die here with the sun in my eyes, a tortilla in my hand, and banda on the radio. Puro mexicana. But yeah, I feel more Mexican than anything else. And a lot of times when people say, where are you from? I said I was born in Canada, but Lots of Mexicans are born outside the country. And usually people laugh. But yeah, Luna's definitely Mexican. She's not Mexican-Canadian. She has a Canadian passport, but like culturally, she's all here. She's all Latin America. If anything, she's Guatemalan Mexican. Those are the only two realities she knows. But I started thinking, like, when we came out here and we got the house and we were settled in, and what I love about Puerto Escondido is not that it's like on the beach or there's like real estate deals or any of this bullshit. It's a really low drama town. Like, of all the tourist places that I've lived, this one's not that touristy, and it's the least drama out of anywhere I've ever lived in my life. And I love that about here. It's also really hard because it's kind of boring. Drama's exciting. But I love it here. I thought, we've arrived. Look at our beautiful, sweet, chilled out life. Look at what I'm able to give my daughter. Look at this house. I'm so happy at home. It was so nice to nest after all that traveling around, especially because I didn't really plan that travel. Like, it was put upon us. So, I really thought I'd arrived. But as time went on, and I got the luxury of space around, I wasn't dealing with like heavy issues like when we were living in Guatemala. Once we kind of settled into here, I realized that, yeah, our lives are amazing. And in comparison to how we were living before, this is like 10 steps up, Like, if we were living at like a 2 or a 3 in Antigua, Guatemala, now we're living at like a 7 or an 8. And like, what a jump up that is. That is living your best life when you're coming from a 3. But now that we've been here for a while, I've started to think, yeah, but I don't want a 7 or an 8. I want a 10 out of 10. And what does that mean? So for me in my life, I think what it means is that I have been doing what is required of me. I've been doing the responsible thing for a long time when it comes to Luna, when it comes to my self-care, when it comes to my friendships, when it comes to my job outside of YouTube. I've been doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which is doing the right thing, living with integrity, having dignity, loyalty, value in myself, not really being focused on not allowing toxic people or events or situations to come into my life. And if they do, not only getting rid of them swiftly, but not letting them affect me mentally. And this has been like a lifelong work for me. It's really difficult. Not only am I attracted to and attract toxic people and situations, but I have so much codependent guilt getting rid of them. So now that we're in a place where there's no toxic people around, like everybody's gone, like there's no toxic people around, no toxic situations, and when they come up, I'm able to move beyond them without making it my fault. Now that we're there, what I realized is, while that was my focus for so long, I forgot about passion, spontaneity, excitement. So for me, living a 10 out of 10 and living my best life for 2020, my goal is to bring this passion, excitement, and spontaneity back into my life. That means I want a more passionate relationship with myself, number one. I want a more passionate relationship with my daughter. Our family dynamic is great, but mostly, oh, here comes Spooky. Our family dynamic is great, but mostly I meet needs. I get things done. I keep us on schedule. I keep whatever we need going to keep our cycle cyclical so that there's a level of security and safety for us in order to travel and in order to have all this chaos around us. And I don't need to do that anymore. Like, now I can shut my phone off and hang out with my daughter. I can, start to choose. I can start to say yes to more spontaneous trips because we have more of a schedule going. We have more of a container built. And it's crazy that this is so terrifying to me. But it really is. Like, it's challenging for me to be like more fly by the seat of my pants. I know it looks like we lead this really alternative, spontaneous life, but we don't. It is incredibly formulaic. It's just within a sort of narrative of travel. That's it, So I started to look at my life and Luna's life and see, like, what do we need more of? And, something that for Luna that's happening right now is that she's at a school that is very middle of the road. They only speak Spanish. It's boring her. She's very bored there. It's very obvious. They have a great schedule for me. And now I'm like, well, how can Luna be living more of her best life? Well, there's a kids club she's been going to all Christmas vacation, which she calls Crips Club. Crips Club. That's what she goes to learn to be a Crip. It's actually really cute when she says it. So she's over there, and their schedule's not so great with mine, but it's right around the corner, and she is living her best life there. So I'm considering switching her there because 2020 is all about us treating ourselves to the very best that life has to offer. And that doesn't mean, letting my responsibilities go, but like leveling up. So the other thing that I've been thinking of is my mother's here visiting for 2 months. She's staying in a nearby town, and she's offered to take Luna every weekend, which means I can take myself on all the dates I've wanted to. I've been planning like just going to Mazunte, one town over, but by myself for the weekend, and getting to go out and dance to cumbia and sleep in and actually go and lie out with a book on the beach. Like, I haven't done these things in 3 years. I went to the beach with my friends for the very first time since we moved here in June last week when my mom came to visit because she took Luna. And I was also like stressed about Luna the whole time because I hadn't put it together with my mom where I had a start and end time. And then I felt like, I was taking advantage of her. And this is the step that I'm like, I need to just chill out and start to enjoy more. Like, how have I lived here since June and I've never once gone to the beach on my own with a book? Like, it's time, like, we're not in the military. We're not in fight or flight anymore. It's time to enjoy. Like, the enjoyment of the moment is really important. I have taken myself off social media. I've been off Facebook for years, but I only use it when I'm at my desktop, which is just a couple hours a day. And I'm off Instagram officially. So if you follow us on Instagram, there's still lots of content there, but my lovely assistant, Diana, is doing all of it now, and she's responding to everything, which is great. I mean, she honestly knows more than I do anyway, and she speaks both languages. She's from Colombia, so in a way, she's kind of better at it. But it's been great. I feel like I have more space. I'm reading more. I'm thinking more. I'm coming up with more ideas. I do feel a little bit like, oh my God, I can't see my friends' kids grow up or my cousins and stuff. But overall, I mean, I'm going to give it a month and see what happens. And then the final thing, and what I actually wanted to make this video about, is after over almost 20 years of working in marketing in Canada, I haven't finished that, but I've decided that I'm going to layer in a different type of thing this year. After I spoke at Google and Expedia, which I'm going to actually upload the talk here in the next month. I've had so many people ask me, will you put the talk up from Google and Expedia? It wasn't filmed on video. It was beamed out to their offices live. But I have all the notes and I have the PDFs and stuff. And so I was thinking I would just make a video where I'm going to go to like an office and like do the PowerPoint and just give you the full speech. I'm pretty proud of it. I mean, it's my life story, and then put it up here. And you're welcome to give me your feedback on what you think. So after that happened, I got a manager. Somebody stepped forward and said they wanted to be my manager and that I should be doing more public speaking around the world. And I love doing it. I clearly have the gift of gab. And I really love doing it. It was great. It was great to connect with other single moms that are traveling. It was great to give, experience, strength, and hope to other people that are coming through abusive situations, just to see, a different model of parenting, of being a modern woman, of entrepreneurial woman, of being a digital nomad, of being a 40-year-old single mom digital nomad, that like anything is possible. You don't necessarily have to fit into boxes, and you can actually enjoy the shit out of it, So that was really fun, and I'm excited to, in 2020, make that more the focus. And as part of that, I've started doing coaching calls. There's 4 different areas of expertise that I'm helping people with, but you're totally welcome to book one with me outside of this if you have something specific you want to ask. I'm going to leave the link below so you can schedule a call. You can schedule a 15-minute call or a 30-minute call. There is a fee, but it's totally affordable with me. And it's a hookup call. So I'll give you an example. A family got a hold of me, a mom who's living in Guatemala City. I believe she and her husband, I don't know where they're from. I think one's from the States. I don't know if they're both from the States or one's from Europe and one's from the States, but their kids are also foreigner children. And they moved there for work and they've been living there a couple of years. And now they're gonna move from Guatemala City to Merida, sight unseen. And they saw that I was in Merida with my daughter, and the mother got a hold of me and said, what can you tell us, the good, the bad, and the ugly? I gave her just like a quick little paragraph, but then I said to her, why don't you give me a call, and in 15 minutes, I can give you everything. I can hook you up with a single moms group out there. I can hook you up with a work group. I can tell you a little bit about daycare and how things work. I can tell you, give you the cab 411 and give you a couple of co-working spaces and some cafes that are there, and like get you in on what Facebook groups to join, etc. I've got a great contact out there and would be happy to help this woman sort of integrate with her family easier. I obviously have lived in Guatemala and I've been in Merida many times. I live here in Mexico. I'm the perfect person to help her out. In a 15-minute call, I could give her all that. We don't need to be talking long term. And that's been what I've been doing for people for years and years and years, is like hooking them up. Like, hey, I'm coming to Puerto Escondido with my fiance. It's our first trip since, since I broke my hip. I can't surf, I can't whatever. What is there to do in Puerto Escondido outside of that? Can you give us some recommendations? Absolutely, 15-minute call. I could give her restaurant recommendations, things to see and do, and also like the vibe of different places, whether she should rent a car, whether they need to get scooters, that kind of stuff. And just like run down all the info, and they can make their decisions from there, but at least they come here feeling like they've got all the people they need and all the hookups they need. So one category is for traveling with kids, solo female travel, or just, info on places that I've been that they want to get hooked up in. Another category is coming through abuse, workaholism, codependency recovery. I've done a lot of all those things. So helping people to find the help that they need, or also just, providing support. There's very few women out there, especially women with kids. It's really hard to get into some of these support places. And unless you're in a Western city, there's not a lot of meetings and free stuff going on. But there is a lot online. I mean, I did all my codependency and sex and love addiction recovery all through the internet. Was in Al-Anon for 10 years before. I've gone to meetings all over the world for various things, seen tons of therapists, all of that, done online podcasts, whatnot. So happy to share all my information there. Also, moving to Mexico. Many people get a hold of me about what it costs, how you do it. Do you need a lawyer? How does it work for real estate? That kind of thing. I am happy to share all my knowledge for anybody that is immigrating to Mexico, especially families. And then the last category is entrepreneurship and working online and working remotely. I have lots of hookups in that. I'm happy to help anyone looking to make a side income or get away from, move out of the country they're in to somewhere like Mexico and get their skills online so that they'll be able to take care of their children or make the move or whatever and be independent. So once again, the link is below. This is what I'm doing in 2020, man. I'm just gonna hook people up for a living now. That's what I see myself doing in the future, is helping people get from A to B, sharing the knowledge that I have, and hopefully connecting with other like-minded people. I just wanna be more deeply connecting. So if you like this video, like it, share it, click the bell here, get notifications whenever we upload, and I would love to hear from you what your goals are for 2020. What are you doing to live your best life? Please leave them in the comments below. And in the next video, you'll most likely see me and Luna being cute. Adios, baby.